Today is a very interesting topic. I want to talk about chamas. How do you invest as a group or a chama? This is a topic that I think we can all talk about and enjoy ourselves for at least 3-4 hours. Now, the investment I want to talk about is basically for a group that wants to invest in land or real estate. There are very many ways of investing, depending again on your pockets. One of the easiest ways, which many groups have done and chamas have done, is to invest in land as a large parcel. Then you add value by either subdividing it into smaller units and selling them off at a profit, or putting in roads and doing designs, which then now you can sell off as plots with type designs. So then you would approach an architect with a planner to help with that master plan, so that as people are coming to buy, then you're able to control. What are the things you need to look out for? I think today's show, I'll talk about land and how you can add value to it. One of the ways I found that value is not maintained is like many groups go and buy and just subdivide the units and sell them as plots. What happens is that you get properties that are got what we call uncontrolled development, because you cannot then, after you've sold off to somebody, come and tell them they can't put up a mabati shack, and yet you wanted people to come up and put up their homes. So what you do, what you can do earlier is incorporate in the agreement of sale a control mechanism where people are forced to sign up before they buy, and they say that this plot is for one residential home or for flats, but of a particular type and quality. What that does, if you're able to control the development in an estate, is that it maintains value. A good example is Kasukari. Kasukari has been there for many years. And Kasukari, at the very beginning, they were very clear that they did not want apartments and flats inside the estate. So therefore, if you did buy a plot there, you were forced to sign up. And your plans, when you designed them, you needed to take them through the company that sold you the piece of land. And they were very clear in saying it has to be one residential unit per home. I remember I was a practicing architect at that time, and I remember it was impossible to get even 2 houses approved per property. What that has done, it has maintained the value of Kasukari. Till today, the properties there are worth quite a bit. Now, it is important to realize that that control, you can do it. And what that does, you even manage to sell the end units slightly more. You can add more value by approaching an architect to design for you typical units, so that as your customers are coming to buy the pieces of land, you can tell them, hey there, we can give you type A, type B, type C house at a certain fee, and what you do now, you control the kind of development. Because a lot of people buy homes, but they get a raw deal from going to quacks, if you would allow me to call them that, to design for them their homes. So, and by the way, as we said in the first show, a poorly designed home is as expensive, probably more expensive than a well-designed home. So if you as a chama can help bridge that gap and provide a service to your customers, then you're adding value, and the market realizes that, and they come to buy your property. Because at the end of the day, a property is the capital value, the intrinsic value. If it can grow, and the property grows by the neighborhood, if you allow your neighborhood, wherever you are putting up your development, to be soiled by ungainly structures, then it directly affects you, because you're in that same neighborhood. So it's important that we make sure that our environment, our building space in Kenya and in the urban cities, it's a good quality business build. It actually retains the value of our properties and of our homes. If you allow, and that's why I tell people it's important, even as you go in, you live in your space wherever you're living, and you find your neighbor putting up a structure which does not meet the standards of your estate, please, you have a voice. Complain, write, go to NCC, complain, say that somebody is putting in an unauthorized building, and if you find that they have a fake approval, complain again about it. Make noise on this channel. We will help you, but it's important that we make noise to make sure that we retain the integrity of our building spaces. That is one way you can invest as a Chama in land that you parcel out into smaller portions for you to make money with. One of the other ways is to again put up a building. You can decide that you want to put up homes, an estate. If you say bought 10 acres, you want to put in 50 homes and you want to build them. That's another way. That's even a better controlled way, simply because then you're in charge of the building yourselves and you can actually make sure that the buildings fit your standards. A lot of us and a lot of Chamas which are small scale may not have the finances required. When that is why now we go to finance companies, to banks, because if you, your Chama, have the capacity to repay the initial bit of the loans before you sell the houses on the planned basis, or when you started the first phase, then it is important then you pool your resources, your repayment capacity together as a group, so that you can get a group loan to allow you to do this. A lot of banks are giving out group loans. It is important to realize that one needs to take advantage of this. As they say, anything shared is easier. So that's one of the guiding principles of groups and Chamas. Do not fear to develop. It could be that your Chama can only afford to put up rental, small one-room rooms for rental at 3,000 shillings. But whatever you do, do it well. Do it to your capacity and do it to the capacity which you can grow up with. Because once you start into the building cycle, you'll find that of necessity you are continually building. You'll be building after building after building. And what happens in building, a piece of land is probably worth about 1 million shillings. When you put a building on it, that building costs you probably 10 million on that 1 million piece of land. But the total valuation of the building project with the land is worth 20 million. So building is a very good way of growing your capital as a group. You'll find that the kind of money you put in for the land and the building, when you do your valuation of the property after you've completed, is probably worth more than double, sometimes 3 or 4 times. So it's a very good way of growing your capital as a Chama or as a group. So my encouragement to you is that do not fear. There are groups that have put up office blocks, groups that have put up estates, groups that have put up apartments blocks, but they started from somewhere, and they started by making that leap and saying, look, we are contributing each 5,000 shillings a month, but we are going to start buying a property worth 500,000, and that 500,000 we are going to cut it up or build some rental rooms, and the next property they did was 1 million, the next property they did was 5 million, and they grew that way. So never fear, take a bold step and get into real estate. One of the newer ways, again, that is called direct building, direct investment. One of the newer ways now which has come in, Capital Markets Authority has authorized REIT, R-E-I-T, Real Estate Investment Trusts. This is a way of channeling of companies going through the Capital Markets Authority to raise money for particular projects. There are a couple of REITs in the market. We've seen a few in the market. And these REITs now, once you have a REIT, say, for a shopping mall, say on Thika Road, or an estate on Thika Road, and they are raising money, say they want to raise 400 million, and your Chama can afford to raise 10 million to invest in that REIT, they will give you terms and conditions, and they'll guarantee you a return within a certain period of time. They give a much higher return than putting your money in the bank, and you're investing in real estate, but in a safer way, because you're not playing around with the contractor, with the fundis, you're not running around the land. So you are investor in a big piece of property as a portion, as a shareholder of that. So go and investigate through the internet what a REIT is, find out from the CMA what rates are available for you to invest in as a Chama, but that's a very good way to investigate and find out what groups are available. In this show, we shall certainly advise what rates are available for investment. Even for my own company, we are involved in a couple of rates which our clients have started so that they can raise money from the public. But be careful, do your due diligence, but I wish you all the best in investing as a Chama. Good. Now I know you've learned about rates, you've learned about how to invest as a Chama, and I'm sure through your questions we're going to come back to these subjects. But thank you for watching The Architect. My name is Edward Mugo, and we expect you to write to us. Write to us, and we are happy to answer any queries you may have. See you next time, and God bless you.